Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to explore some of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the United States, featuring the top 7 most collectible coins loved by both collectors and investors alike. We'll be talking about the Jefferson Nickel, the Wheat Penny, the Buffalo Nickel, the Susan B. Anthony Dollar, the Sacagawea Dollar, the Kennedy Half Dollar, and the Washington Quarter Dollar, some of the most iconic coins in American history. United States. Each of these coins has its own unique story, from rare minting errors in silver or copper compositions to special color variations that make them stand out in the world of numismatics. These treasures are not just pieces of history, but also valuable assets that coin collectors are hunting for today. Some of them have sold for thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the condition, mint mark, and rarity. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of American currency, this video is definitely for you. Moneybag, let's get started with the first rare coin on our list. The 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony $1 coin is one of the most remarkable and misunderstood treasures in modern American numismatics, a coin that carries with the power of history, the spirit of equality, and the allure of mystery. When it was first introduced, it was meant to revolutionize the U.S. dollar system. Yet few could have predicted that decades later, it would stand as a symbol of determination, rarity, and unexpected fortune. This coin, born in the bold era of the late 20th century, is a fusion of politics, artistry, and destiny. And for those who recognize its significance, it can become a golden key to unimaginable wealth. The year 1979 marked the dawn of a new chapter in American coinage. The United States Mint decided to replace the heavy Eisenhower dollar with something smaller, more practical, and more fitting for an evolving nation. Into this vision came the Susan B. Anthony Dollar, a coin named after the fearless pioneer of women's rights and equality. It was the first time in U.S. history that a real woman, not a symbolic figure like Liberty, was immortalized on circulating currency. The decision carried immense historical weight, representing the courage and struggle for women's suffrage and the fight for justice that Anthony dedicated her life to. Struck at the Denver Mint, the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony coin bears a small but significant D mint mark, a mark that tells of its western birthplace, where molten metal met the hammer of progress. Though composed primarily of copper and nickel, the coin gleams with silvery tone that often leads people to mistake it for solid silver. Its luster is bright and cold, a metallic reflection of both its beauty and its controversial reception. Yet behind that silver shine lies something deeper, a story of value that the casual observer may never recognize. When the Susan B. Anthony dollar entered circulation, it was met with mixed emotions. Its smaller size made it similar in appearance to the quarter, leading to confusion at cash registers and coin counters across America. Because of this, it was not widely accepted by the public. But in a twist of fate, that very rejection ensured its rarity and collectability in the years to come. What once seemed like a failed experiment has now become one of the most sought-after modern coins, especially in pristine condition or with unique minting anomalies. The 1979 D in particular holds special appeal. While millions were struck, only a fraction remain in perfect mint state condition today. Time has a way of transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary, and so it is with this coin. Many circulated examples bear scratches and wear, but the few that remain untouched, crisp edges, full luster, mirror-like surfaces, are gems in the eyes of collectors. Those rare survivors, especially with unique errors such as double strikes, die clashes, or off-center minting, have reached values that defy imagination. There's a magnetic energy surrounding this coin, a feeling that it holds something more than metal and mint marks. It represents the struggles and triumphs of an era, the transition from traditional to modern currency, and the lasting power of a woman whose courage changed the nation's laws. The portrait of Susan B. Anthony on the obverse is bold and determined, her gaze direct and unflinching. Around her are 11 stars, symbolizing the original colonies, while on the reverse, an eagle soars toward the moon, an image borrowed from the Apollo 11 mission insignia, linking the coin to one of humanity's greatest achievements. Collectors have come to view the 1979 D as a coin of both symbolic and financial strength. While most were made for circulation, Select proof-like examples and rare varieties with unusual die characteristics have achieved staggering auction results. Some have fetched prices well into the thousands. A humble dollar transformed into a treasure worth more than gold. And rumors persist among collectors of a handful of experimental silver planchets, coins that, if authenticated, could command a fortune large enough to change lives overnight. Beyond the numbers and values, this coin story is one of persistence, much like Susan B. Anthony herself. For decades, the coin was dismissed, forgotten in drawers and piggy banks, considered too similar to a quarter to be useful. But time has vindicated it. Now, collectors and historians see it as a crucial milestone, a coin ahead of its time, a bold step that paved the way for later innovations like the Sacagawea and presidential dollars. Its revival in the collector market proves that true worth often lies hidden beneath public opinion, waiting for rediscovery. The silvery sheen of the 1979 D-dollar still catches the eye, reflecting not only light but legacy. Each piece carries the echo of a minting revolution and the whisper of history. It reminds us that progress is rarely smooth, that even the most noble ideas may first be misunderstood. Yet, as with the woman whose face graces its surface, resilience transforms rejection into remembrance. The coin that was once set aside is now celebrated as a testament to endurance and equality. Holding in 1979, D. Susan B. Anthony dollar today feels like holding a time capsule, a bridge between past ideals and future dreams. Its metallic ring is a note of defiance against doubt, its weight a reminder of what vision and perseverance can accomplish. Whether found in an old coin jar or inherited from a grandparent's collection, it carries within the potential for extraordinary fortune, both monetary and symbolic. In the world of numismatics, where history and artistry intertwine, few coins capture the heart quite like the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar. Its journey from public rejection to collector obsession mirrors the resilience of the very woman it honors. For those who recognize its hidden power, especially those who uncover a rare variety or minting error, this coin can indeed transform fate overnight. It is proof that sometimes the smallest treasures hold the greatest value, and that within a single silver-toned circle, one can hold the power to rewrite fortune and history alike. Next up, the year 1965 stands as a turning point in the grand chronicle of American coinage. It was a year of transition, uncertainty, and unspoken rebellion within the U.S. Mint. The Washington quarter, once proudly struck in 90% silver since 1932, suddenly faced extinction in its precious metal form. Rising silver prices and nationwide coin hoarding forced the Treasury to act, and for the first time, the nation's quarters would no longer carry the glint of true silver. But amidst the chaos of this monumental change, something extraordinary happened, something mysterious and rare. A few coins struck in that historic year somehow retained the very essence the mint sought to erase. They were minted in silver. The 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark, in its ordinary form, was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. Millions upon millions were produced, each weighing slightly less than its silver predecessor, each ringing with a duller tone when dropped. Yet, somewhere deep within the machinery of the mint, old silver planchets, leftovers from 1964 production, found their way into the presses. These accidental survivors were struck with the 1965 dies, creating a coin that officially should not exist. To a trained eye, this coin is not just metal, it is magic. It carries within it the whisper of silver's final stand in U.S. circulation. To hold such a coin in your hand is to hold a mistake that time itself could not correct. The government's intention was clear. All silver coins were to be replaced. But perfection is rare in human operations, and in those fleeting moments of error, destiny minted treasure. The silver 1965 Washington quarter glows differently. Its edge reveals no copper core, and its sound, when tapped, sings a brighter, purer note. Those who have ever discovered one describe the moment as electric, as if the coin itself breathes history and defiance. The story of this coin is steeped in tension. In 1964, as Americans realized the government would soon eliminate silver from its coins, they began hoarding every dime, quarter, and half-dollar in sight. Store counters emptied, banks ran short, and the mint scrambled to meet demand. The Coinage Act of 1965 was not just a law. It was a declaration of independence from precious metals. But with production running 24 hours a day and workers rushing to keep up, small oversights occurred. Silver planchets, bright polished and slightly heavier, found their way into the new presses. When struck with the 1965 die, they became living contradictions. These rare silver 1965 quarters have become the holy grail of modern American numismatics. They are not only rare, they are poetic. They tell the story of an old system resisting its own demise. The men intended to start a new era of practicality, but the old world left a final signature behind. Even today, collectors search endlessly for these accidental treasures, weighing every 1965 quarter they find, hoping to feel that extra gram that signals destiny. Imagine the power of discovery, digging through an old coin jar or an inherited collection, and finding what looks like an ordinary 1965 quarter. You feel its weight, sense its luster, and something inside tells you this coin is different. Then comes the test, the ring, the shine, the scale, and realization hits. You hold one of the few remaining silver planchet errors of 1965, a piece worth thousands, perhaps tens of thousands, depending on its brilliance. In the right hands, under the right light, it could indeed change your life overnight. What makes the silver 1965 quarter so valuable is not just its rarity. It's the story it carries. It represents the twilight of America's silver currency, the last echo of an era when coins had intrinsic worth, when the sound of silver in a pocket meant security. It is both artifact and accident, history and hope fused into one shining disk. Each verified piece is authenticated by weight, 6.25 grams instead of the normal 5.67, and confirmed by its unmistakable silver core. Collectors speak of these coins with reverence, as if they were mythic relics of a lost kingdom. Many have searched for years without success, yet rumors persist of forgotten silver 1965 quarters hidden in drawers, locked in safes, or resting unnoticed in old coin rolls. And the few that have surfaced remind us that history has a way of revealing its secrets only to those patient enough to listen. For decades, these coins have appeared in whispers, found by chance, tested by experts, and then sold for small fortunes. Their values fluctuate, but their allure never fades. Each time one appears in the numismatic market, collectors compete fiercely, driven by equal parts greed and admiration. Because owning one isn't just a matter of wealth. It's a matter of possessing a mistake so beautiful it transcends its origins. Think of it. A simple quarter, born in a year of change, now capable of making someone a millionaire if the right circumstances align. Its silver gleam mocks the copper core of its brothers, as if to say, I was not meant to disappear. For those who believe in destiny, the silver 1965 Washington quarter is proof that even in the face of progress, something precious always finds a way to survive. In the grand theater of coin collecting, the silver 1965 quarter stands as a legend. It embodies the passion of discovery, the thrill of rarity, and the eternal romance between history and chance. Every collector dreams of finding one. Every historian cherishes its story, and every dreamer imagines what it would be like to hold in their hand a piece of silver that time forgot. So if, by some twist of fate, you come across a 1965 quarter that shines brighter, feels heavier, and sings like silver, pause. Do not spend it. Do not trade it cheaply. For that small circle of metal might just be your golden ticket, your fortune in disguise. It is the coin that slipped through the cracks of history, the treasure that defied the system, and the proof that sometimes the most valuable things are born from beautiful mistakes. Next up, the 1972 Kennedy $50 is a coin wrapped in both mystery and prestige, a small circle of metal that carries within it the story of a nation, the echo of a president's legacy, and the glint of fortune waiting to be discovered. To hold a 1972 $50 is to hold a piece of American resilience, minted in an age when the nation was redefining its spirit. Though most were struck in copper nickel, rare silver variations and minting errors have turned this ordinary coin into one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatic history. The birth of the Kennedy $50 came as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy, following his tragic assassination in 1963. Americans, driven by grief and admiration, demanded a permanent way to remember the fallen leader. Thus, in 1964, the first Kennedy half-dollar was born, carrying his image as a symbol of hope and unity. But by 1972, this coin had evolved. Silver was no longer the standard metal, and yet, every once in a while, a piece slipped through the mints that defied the norm. These are the 1972 silver composition half-dollars, accidental survivors of a changing era. To find a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar with silver content is like discovering a secret from the mint itself. The U.S. Mint had officially stopped producing silver circulation halves after 1970, yet through anomalies, leftover planchets, or special strikes, some coins emerge with a telltale weight and shine of silver. These rare misstruck coins are the stuff of dreams for collectors, pieces that should not exist, yet do. Their scarcity alone propels their value beyond imagination, especially when authenticated. In today's coin market, a verified 1972 silver Kennedy half-dollar can command sums that rival fine jewelry or even cars. But beyond the metal, it's the story that captivates. Each coin whispers tales of the early 1970s, a nation transitioning out of the Vietnam era, moving toward new beginnings, with Kennedy's calm gaze still representing courage and idealism. The silver shimmer of these coins becomes almost poetic, a reminder that even in times of change, remnants of the past endure. The no-mint mark version from Philadelphia adds yet another layer of intrigue. Without the D or S mark, it carries a cleaner, almost mysterious appearance, as if it were struck not for public eyes but for destiny. Most of these coins circulated freely, slipping into pockets and purses unnoticed, until collectors realized decades later that they might hold something extraordinary. Imagine a coin worth millions resting quietly in someone's old jar or drawer, waiting for discovery. What makes this coin even more enchanting is its connection to fortune and fate. Many collectors describe the moment of finding a rare 1972 silver half-dollar as life-changing, an instant when history, luck, and value collide. There's an almost mythical energy surrounding this coin, as if Kennedy's own spirit lingers within it, rewarding those who cherish history with unimaginable wealth. It's said that the coin doesn't just reflect light, it reflects possibility. Its design only heightens its power. The obverse features Kennedy's noble profile, a face forever youthful and filled with purpose. The reverse bears the presidential seal, an eagle with spread wings, clutching both arrows and olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. Together, these images create a visual promise of perseverance and prosperity. The coin's beauty isn't just physical, it's emotional, a tribute cast in metal that time cannot tarnish. Over the years, collectors have watched the value of the 1972 silver variant soar to incredible heights. Depending on condition and confirmation of its composition, the price can skyrocket into the 6 or even 7 figures. Imagine the astonishment of a person discovering one in change, unaware that they held a key to potential fortune. That's what makes numismatics so thrilling. Every coin has a secret, and every collector is a detective chasing destiny. The Kennedy half-dollar also represents a bridge between generations. Grandparents who once used these coins in daily life now pass them to grandchildren, who see them as relics of a prouder, more hopeful America. And when a rare silver piece from 1972 surfaces, it's more than just metal. It's a legacy reborn. Holding such a coin is like shaking hands with history, feeling both the weight of time and the lightness of hope. What truly defines a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is not just its rarity or value, but its symbolism. It reminds the world that even ordinary things can carry extraordinary power, that in the smallest, simplest form, there can exist something capable of changing a life overnight. The phrase pocket-sized fortune has never been more accurate. So if you ever come across this coin, don't rush to spend it or trade it away. Look closer. Feel its surface, its energy, its quiet majesty. It might be one of those few coins that escape the ordinary path of history, meant only for the hands of those who believe in destiny. It's not just a piece of silver. It's a symbol of transformation, a reminder that greatness often hides in plain sight, and perhaps the key to unlocking your fortune overnight. Next up, the 1924 Deep Buffalo nickel stands as one of the most breathtaking and emotionally powerful coins ever minted in the United States. It is more than a small piece of metal. It's a monument to American strength, artistry, and survival. Every scratch, every glint of silver-toned nickel tells a story of a nation forging its identity in the roaring 1920s. Minted in Denver, this coin carries a D mint mark, a simple letter that transforms it from a common artifact into an object of obsession among collectors. And while most buffalo nickels were struck in copper-nickel alloy, the rare few with traces of silver or unusual toning have become treasures worth fortunes in today's market. The creation of the buffalo nickel in 1913 was an artistic revolution. Sculptor James Earl Fraser envisioned a coin that would capture the soul of America, the rugged, raw, untamed beauty of a land built by courage. On one side, he engraved the proud profile of a Native American chief, drawn from a combination of real tribal leaders. On the other, he placed a majestic American bison, known to most as a buffalo, the symbol of endurance, wilderness, and the spirit of freedom. The 1924 D issue was struck in smaller quantities than many other years, and its Denver mint mark has become synonymous with rarity and value. What makes the 1924 D Buffalo nickel so extraordinary is not only its limited mintage, but also its inconsistent strike quality. Many coins from that year were poorly struck, leaving soft details and incomplete features. Finding one that has survived the passage of time in crisp, sharp condition is almost miraculous. For collectors, a fully struck 1924 D is like finding a perfectly preserved fossil from another world, a glimpse into a moment when art and history collided on a 5-cent piece. In the coin market today, a genuine 1924 D Buffalo nickel in mint condition can bring unimaginable sums. Prices can stretch into tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on clarity, toning, and preservation. But the few examples that exhibit traces of silver tint, caused by unusual metal mixtures or planchet variations, are truly legendary. These coins shimmer differently, reflecting light like liquid history, and collectors will pay almost any price to claim them. There's something almost mystical about holding a 1924 D Buffalo nickel in your hand. You can feel the era pulsing through it, the hum of Model T engines, the excitement of jazz clubs, the smell of freshly printed newspapers reporting on a rapidly changing world. It is a relic of a time when America was becoming modern, yet still deeply connected to its roots. Each coin is a silent witness to the dreams and struggles of a generation that built the foundation of today's prosperity. The Native American portrait on the obverse remains one of the most beloved images in all of American coinage. Fraser wanted to honor the true spirit of the land's first people, not as distant memories, but as symbols of pride and identity. His design gave life to a powerful reminder that history is written not only by presidents and wars, but also by the faces and creatures that define a culture. The buffalo on the reverse, inspired by an animal named Black Diamond from the New York Central Park Zoo, was chosen to embody resilience and power, qualities that would come to define the United States during the trials of the 20th century. In the 1920s, few people could imagine that the nickels jingling in their pockets might one day be worth more than gold. Most spent them without thought, buying newspapers, gum, or train rides, unknowingly parting with what future generations would treasure beyond measure. The survival of any 1924 D nickel in pristine form is a story of luck, timing, and fate. Many were worn smooth through decades of use, while a rare few escaped into collections, hidden away like sleeping giants awaiting rediscovery. Today, when one of these rare coins appears at auction, it electrifies the numismatic world. Collectors whisper its name as if invoking a legend, the 1924 D. Its beauty is timeless, its presence commanding. Even a single coin can change a collector's life overnight. It's the kind of artifact that makes headlines, that draws museum spotlights, that turns an ordinary person into a millionaire in an instant. But beyond its financial worth, the 1924 D Buffalo nickel carries emotional and historical power. It represents a bridge between the past and present, between craftsmanship and commerce, between artistry and endurance. To hold one is to connect with the people who build America's spirit of resilience. It's a reminder that greatness doesn't always come in grand monuments. Sometimes it fits neatly in the palm of your hand. The Denver Mint's craftsmanship in 1924 also plays a key role in the coin's mystique. Unlike the Philadelphia or San Francisco mints, Denver's production that year was marked by scarcity and slight imperfections that make every coin uniquely beautiful. No two surviving 1924. The Buffalo nickels are identical. Each bears its own patterns, its own fingerprint of history, making every one of them irreplaceable. And finally, the myth that surrounds it, the belief that this coin has the power to change one's fortune overnight, is not far from truth. Time and again, stories surface of ordinary people discovering a dusty 1924, the Buffalo nickel tucked away in a drawer or jar, only to learn that it's worth thousands or even millions. The shock, the joy, the disbelief, all wrapped into one life-changing moment. It is a coin that proves fate works in mysterious ways. So, if you ever come across a 1924, the Buffalo nickel, pause before you dismiss it as just another old coin. Look closely at the Buffalo's powerful stance, the Native American's dignified profile, and the small D mint mark below the date. It may just be a silent key to unimaginable fortune, a 5-cent miracle forged in silver, history, and destiny. Never spend it lightly, for it may be the coin that carries the power to turn your life and your fortune forever. Next up, the 1943. P. Jefferson Nickel is not just a 5-cent piece. It is a whisper from the past, a metallic echo of a world at war and a nation reshaping its destiny. Minted during one of the most turbulent times in human history, this coin stands as a symbol of American resilience, sacrifice, and innovation. The P mint mark above Monticello's dome on its reverse marks it as a product of the Philadelphia Mint, and the very first time that mint ever used its mark on a U.S. coin. But what makes the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel truly extraordinary is its unique composition. It was forged not from ordinary nickel, but from a wartime alloy containing silver. This small adjustment gave birth to one of the most fascinating and valuable series in all of American coinage. The story begins in the heart of World War II. Nickel, the metal, was suddenly a weapon, crucial for armor plating, bombs, and machinery. To preserve every ounce for the war effort, the U.S. Mint made a historic decision in 1942 to remove nickel from the 5-cent coin and replace it with an alloy of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. From that point on, every Jefferson nickel produced between mid-1942 and 1945 contained real silver, a decision that transformed these everyday coins into national treasures. The 1943 P is perhaps the crown jewel among them, representing both necessity and ingenuity in a time of global crisis. Holding a 1943 P. Jefferson nickel is like holding a fragment of history in your palm. Its silver gleam carries a reflection of wartime America, a country united under sacrifice, determination, and hope. Each coin bears a proud image of Thomas Jefferson, one of the architects of American liberty, whose vision of democracy carried new meaning in those dark years. Behind him, the dome of Monticello stands tall, not merely a building, but a symbol of home, peace, and the enduring values that soldiers fought to defend across distant shores. What makes this particular coin so desirable in today's market is the blend of rarity, history, and metal content. Though millions were minted, only a small fraction survive in pristine, uncirculated condition. Time has not been kind to most. Many have tarnished, worn smooth, or been lost to circulation. But those few that retain their original silver shimmer can command extraordinary prices. Collectors around the world hunt for these gleaming survivors, drawn not only to their material value, but to the powerful story they represent. When viewed under light, the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel almost glows, its silver surface catching reflections that ordinary coins simply cannot. It feels heavier, denser, more significant, as though it carries the weight of history itself. And in a way, it does. During the war years, countless Americans unknowingly carried these coins in their pockets as they worked in factories, built airplanes, or waited anxiously for letters from loved ones overseas. Each coin became a silent witness to the greatest human struggle of the 20th century. Over time, the 1943 P has grown to become one of the most sought-after nickels in the numismatic world. Its silver content gives it intrinsic worth, but its historical context multiplies its emotional and collectible value tenfold. Even a worn example tells a story of survival, of a coin that endured the war, the post-war boom, and decades of change. For the rare collector who finds one in mint condition, the value can soar into thousands, even tens of thousands, depending on its strike quality, toning, and luster. One of the fascinating aspects of the 1943 P. Jefferson Nickels lies in its design details. Jefferson's profile, with his noble and thoughtful expression, reminds us of the American ideal, a nation built upon wisdom, reason, and independence. The word liberty, to his left in the phrase, "In God we trust," above his head form a silent declaration of faith and freedom. On the reverse, Monticello, Jefferson's home, stands as a monument to intellect and perseverance, its lines sharp and architectural, a perfect reflection of Jefferson's mind. And above the building, the P mint mark, bold, unmistakable, symbolizes not just Philadelphia, but pride, progress, and patriotism. What adds even greater fascination is that this coin, though called a nickel, contains no nickel at all. Instead, it's part silver, a twist of irony that gives a 1943 P a near mythical status among collectors. Many don't realize that they might be holding a small piece of precious metal in their chain jar or inherited collection. To the trained eye, the silver nickels stand out by their distinctive grayish tone and the large mint mark above Monticello, the hallmark of wartime silver issues. The 1943 P. Jefferson Nickels has often been described as a coin that can change lives, not only because of its monetary worth, but because of what it represents. It tells the story of how small things can carry great meaning, how even in times of scarcity, a nation's creativity can shine through. It reminds us that value isn't always about wealth. Sometimes it's about legacy. And yet, in today's market, this legacy does indeed translate to immense financial potential. Rare examples with full steps on Monticello or mirror-like proof-like surfaces have fetched staggering sums at auctions, turning ordinary people into overnight millionaires. Imagine finding one in a family coin jar or in a forgotten drawer, a silver spark from 1943, quietly waiting for decades to reveal its worth. That's the magic of the 1943 P. Jefferson Nickels. It bridges generations, connecting the sacrifices of the past with the dreams of the present. It transforms metal into meaning, history into opportunity. And so, if you ever encounter one of these coins, that gleaming 5-cent piece marked with a bold P above Monticello, pause before you part with it. Look closely at its texture, its shine, its character. This isn't just a coin. It's a time capsule, a treasure forged in fire and faith. In the right hands, it can indeed change a fortune overnight, reminding us all that sometimes the smallest pieces of history hold the greatest power. Next up, the 2000 Sacagawea dollar stands as one of the most captivating creations in the history of American coinage, a coin born from a vision of honor, courage, and timeless beauty. When it was first struck, it carried more than just the image of a woman. It carried the spirit of an entire heritage. This coin was designed not merely to circulate as currency, but to tell a story, the story of a Native American woman who guided the Lewis and Clark expedition across the uncharted territories of early America. The golden tone of the coin radiates pride and strength, echoing the resilience and wisdom that defines Sacagawea's life. For those who understand its legacy, this coin is not just metal. It is a symbol of history, identity, and unimaginable value. When the year 2000 dawned, it marked a new millennium, a fresh chapter for the United States Mint. To celebrate that turning point, the Mint sought to introduce a dollar coin that would embody both the past and the future. Thus, the Sacagawea Golden Dollar was born. The Denver Mint, represented by its bold D mint mark, played a key role in bringing this coin to life. Crafted with core of pure copper and an outer layer of manganese brass, it achieved a radiant golden hue that captivated the nation. Unlike previous silver-toned dollar coins, this one shone with a warmth that reflected the spirit of its subject, a golden tribute to the Native American legacy interwoven with America's own beginnings. The design was a masterstroke of symbolism. On the obverse, Sacagawea appears serene yet strong, her infant son Jean Baptiste resting securely on her back. Her gaze is forward, resolute, filled with quiet determination, symbolizing guidance, discovery, and maternal protection. Every curve of her image tells a story of endurance through hardship, of courage amidst the unknown. The reverse features a soaring eagle, wings outstretched in freedom, representing the boundless sky of opportunity. Together, these images transform the 2000 D Sacagawea dollar into a living monument of faith, unity, and perseverance. But what makes the 2000 D Sacagawea coin so extraordinary is not just its design, but its hidden value. While millions were minted for circulation, there exist special varieties and striking errors that make certain pieces worth far more than their face value. Some of these coins carry distinctive flaws in their strike, doubling in their lettering, or unusual color tones due to experimental plating during minting. A few have even been discovered with a rare golden brilliance unmatched by any other coin of its time. These are the treasures collectors dream of, the coins that transform from a humble dollar into a prize worth thousands or even millions in today's market. There's also a mystical allure attached to this coin. Many collectors believe that the 2000 D Sacagawea dollar carries a rare energy, a kind of historical blessing that ties the owner to a legacy of guidance and fortune. Just as Sacagawea led explorers through the unknown wilderness, this coin seems to guide its possessors toward prosperity. For those lucky enough to own one of the rare varieties, the experience can be life-changing. Stories abound of collectors who discovered an overlooked coin in an old wallet or drawer, only to learn that it was worth a fortune. Proof that sometimes destiny hides in plain sight. Historically, this coin marked a turning point for the U.S. Mint. It reintroduced the dollar coin into circulation after years of public disinterest in earlier designs like the Susan B. Anthony dollar. Yet, despite the initial excitement, the coin's widespread use did not take hold as intended, making uncirculated and pristine examples all the more valuable today. What once seemed like a failed experiment has, in time, become a collector's masterpiece. The 2000 D stands as a gleaming survivor of a bold idea that was ahead of its time, its value magnified by its scarcity in high-grade condition. The Denver Mint itself has long been associated with craftsmanship and precision, but with the Sacagawea dollar, it achieves something transcendent. The D mark represents not only its origin, but also a promise of quality and historical significance. Minted in a year of hope and renewal, the coin captured the imagination of a nation stepping into a new millennium, a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern vision. For that reason, the 2000 D Sacagawea dollar has become far more than currency. It is a golden artifact of American heritage. Even the composition of the coin adds to its uniqueness. Though not made of pure gold, its golden alloy gives it a rich, royal glow that sets it apart from any other circulating coin. Over time, the natural aging of the metal gives each piece its own character. Some darken into a burnished bronze, while others retain their radiant luster as if frozen in time. This living metal, ever changing with age, mirrors the endurance of the legend it bears, a symbol of survival through centuries, both beautiful and resilient. Collectors today understand the profound importance of this coin. Its story is one of transformation, from an undervalued experiment to one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatics. Rare varieties, such as those with experimental gold tint or dye errors, have fetched astronomical prices at auction, turning ordinary people into overnight millionaires. It serves as a timeless reminder that the true worth of something often lies unseen until history gives it context and rarity gives it power. The 2000 D Sacagawea dollar also carries a spiritual and cultural resonance that few coins can match. It honors the forgotten contributions of Native Americans and immortalizes a woman whose courage helped shape the course of U.S. exploration. In that sense, the coin is more than metal. It's memory, art, and tribute combined. To hold one is to hold a chapter of the American story, a reminder that greatness often comes from those who walk quietly but left an eternal mark. Over 2 decades later, the golden dollar still glimmers with mystique and possibility. It continues to draw collectors, historians, and dreamers who see in it the reflection of destiny itself. For those who possess it, especially the rare 2000 D Mint mark versions with exceptional condition or hidden anomalies, the coin can indeed become a source of fortune, both material and symbolic. It carries the energy of discovery, echoing Sacagawea's role as a guide through uncharted lands, reminding all who own it that fortune favors the bold and the visionary. So, If you ever find a 2000 D Sacagawea dollar, look at it closely. Feel its weight, its warmth, its whisper of history. Do not dismiss it as ordinary change, for within that small golden circle lies the possibility of greatness. It is a coin that bridges centuries, honors courage, and rewards those who recognize its power. And for the few who hold one of the rarest examples, it may very well be the coin that changes everything, a token of destiny, a spark of history, and perhaps the fortune that can alter one's life overnight. Next up, the 1954 D. Wheat penny stands as one of the most captivating coins in American history, not merely because of its copper composition, but because of the legacy and emotion it carries within its small circular frame. Minted in Denver, Colorado, during one of the most prosperous decades of the 20th century, this 1-cent coin embodies the golden spirit of post-war America, an era of hope, strength, and renewal. At first glance, it might appear to be an ordinary penny. Yet for those who understand the language of history and rarity, the 1954 D. Wheat penny can whisper stories worth millions. Beneath its reddish-brown glow lies not only precious copper, but the very essence of an America that was rebuilding itself with passion and pride. The year 1954 was a time of transition. The United States stood strong in the aftermath of World War II, facing the dawn of a modern age filled with innovation, progress, and optimism. Every coin struck during this period reflected that newfound confidence. And the wheat penny, designed by Victor David Brenner, was a perfect symbol of endurance. Featuring the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the nation's beloved 16th president, it served as a reminder of unity, sacrifice, and the unbreakable American spirit. The reverse side, two simple wheat ears cradling the words 1 cent, and United States of America, represented growth, harvest, and a reward of honest labor. In that simplicity was beauty, and in that beauty was value. The Denver Mint, marked with a small letter D under the date, was one of the powerhouses of American coin production during this era. But not all coins that left its presses were identical. Slight variations in metal, strike, or finish could transform an ordinary coin into a national treasure. The 1954 D. Wheat penny, though mass-produced, became legendary because a few of these coins displayed exceptionally sharp details, flawless luster, and rich copper tones that collectors later sought with feverish enthusiasm. Some were struck so perfectly that they appeared sculpted rather than minted, shining like miniature works of art forged in metal. Copper itself plays a fascinating role in the story. Before 1982, pennies were primarily composed of copper, a metal that, over time, developed beautiful hues ranging from deep orange to rich chocolate brown. The 1954 D. Wheat penny holds a special glow, a warm, timeless luster that seems to carry the energy of the era it was born in. For decades, these coins circulated to the hands of millions. Factory workers, soldiers, school children, farmers, each leaving an invisible mark upon its surface. Some of these coins survived nearly untouched, while others were pocketed away as lucky keepsakes, eventually emerging in modern times as rare gems in the numismatic world. But among the millions minted, a few 1954 D. Wheat pennies are unimaginably valuable today. Why? Because condition and rarity are everything in coin collecting. Those preserved in pristine, mint-state condition, still glowing as if struck yesterday, can command prices that defy belief. A single flawless 1954 D can reach tens of thousands of dollars at auction, and some claim that hidden varieties or misstruck versions could be worth even more. For the passionate collector, the hunt for such a coin is not about copper or currency. It's about discovering history frozen in time, a coin untouched by the decades, whispering stories of the mid-century dream. Imagine the thrill of finding such a coin among your change, or in an old family box, a penny that gleams just a little too brightly, with edges too sharp, surfaces too perfect. That is when heartbeats quicken, for you may be holding a fortune disguised as simplicity. The power of the 1954 D. Wheat penny lies in this mystery, in the idea that an object so small could carry a destiny so grand. To some, it's just a coin. To others, it's a ticket to a new life, a silent witness to history with the power to change one's fortune overnight. Beyond its monetary value, the 1954 D. Wheat penny carries profound symbolic weight. It represents a time when America valued craftsmanship, precision, and purpose. Each strike of the mint press was not merely about producing currency. It was about creating continuity, keeping alive the vision of Abraham Lincoln and the ideals he stood for. Holding this coin today connects you to the heartbeat of an era, to the factories, the families, the dreams that built modern America. It's not just metal, it's memory, molded by time and touch. The design of the wheat penny itself deserves reverence. Victor David Brenner, who crafted Lincoln's portrait, captured not merely a face, but a feeling, the quiet determination of a leader whose wisdom shaped a nation. Every curve and shadow of that design tells a story of sacrifice and hope. And on the reverse, the twin wheat stalks serve as eternal reminders that prosperity grows from perseverance. When you look closely at the 1954 D wheat penny, you see not just art, but the soul of a country etched in copper. Collectors often call the wheat penny series a bridge of generations. From 1909 to 1958, it passed through the hands of grandparents, parents, and children, silently recording their journeys. The 1954 D, near the end of the series, captures that transition, the edge between the old world and the new. It is both nostalgic and forward-looking, marking the final chapters of a beloved design before the Lincoln Memorial Reverse took over in 1959. In that sense, the 1954 D is not only rare in metal, but rare in meaning. It is a farewell to one of America's most iconic designs. In the numismatic market today, the 1954 D wheat penny remains one of the most pursued mid-century coins. Its copper purity, its striking Denver mint mark, and its connection to a vibrant chapter of U.S. history make it an enduring favorite among collectors and historians alike. While some coins are valued for their errors or metallic oddities, this penny is prized for its perfect simplicity, for its balance of art and authenticity. If fortune favors you, and one day you find a 1954 D wheat penny glimmering in your collection, or resting unnoticed in an old jar, take a closer look. You might just be holding a relic of immense worth, a coin capable of turning destiny itself in your favor. Because in the mysterious and wondrous world of coin collecting, even a single copper cent can carry the power to make you a millionaire overnight. It is not just a coin. It is a testament to time, beauty, and the unpredictable magic of history. Next up,